Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Released May 25, 2024. Directed by George Miller. Written by George Miller and Nick Lathoris. Starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, and Tom Burke. Rotten Tomatoes score, 90%. Metacritic, 79. IMDb, 8. Welcome back to Real Reviews. Like always, I am your host, Lee. Today we are talking about Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, which is a prequel to Mad Max Fury Road. As you can tell from the ratings I have listed, it seems to be pretty well liked. I have plenty of issues with this movie, but let's talk about it. So in case anyone isn't aware, this movie covers the life of Furiosa and leads right up to the start of Fury Road, and that is actually a key issue with the story. Plainly put, the events of this movie make the start of Fury Road make no sense, but I will talk about it in a bit. Another pretty big issue I have is that they marketed this movie heavily with Anya Taylor-Joy, but she isn't in this movie until about halfway through, since it decided to go with her childhood as the opening. My last real gripe is an issue that is becoming all too common in a lot of modern movies. If something can't be done practically and can't be done within your budget while still being good quality, don't put it in your movie. This one has so many scenes that the graphics don't hold up. I won't talk about the marketing or the graphics again, but I will talk about the story and some big issues it causes. But before that, let's get into some questions.
How does Furiosa handle the legacy of the character established in Mad Max, Fury Road? Does it add depth to her backstory in a way that feels consistent with her character?
As it pretty much explains everything from when Furiosa was taken from her home up until the events of Fury Road, it is very consistent with what is portrayed in Fury Road. Due to where the movie decides to end, it does go over the events as to why she has a shaved head, how she became an imperator, and why her arm is mechanical. I actually think it handles all of these things very well.
How does the film handle the balance between character development and action sequences? Does one aspect overshadow the other, or are they well integrated?
Honestly, this movie does a much better job handling the balance when compared to Fury Road. The thing about action is that it doesn't have to be long and drawn out to be good. In fact, quick action scenes are often the best because they get to the point. Furiosa takes the time to really build out in a few moments. As it is a Mad Max movie, it doesn't do a ton of this because violence and explosions are kind of the bread and butter of the movie series.
How does the film depict the social and political structures within the world of a Mad Max? What insights does it offer into the power dynamics and societal values of this universe?
We get a slightly better understanding of the world of Mad Max in this timeline. We get to see Gastown and the Bullet Farm and how they work. Furthermore, we also get a pretty good view as to war party strategies. We also get more development for characters like Rectus Erectus, but with this character I really wish we didn't because one scene of what they added was probably extremely unnecessary. Overall, I think the additional world building was a plus. The main thing that they build out here is the balanced relationship between the Citadel, the Bullet Farm, and Gastown as they rely on one another to maintain power as the three strongholds of the wasteland.
What role does technology play in Furiosa? How are vehicles, weapons, and other technological elements portrayed as part of the narrative?
We don't really see any new innovations in weapons, vehicles, or technology. But we do get new wacky vehicles like Dementus's 3-motorcycle chariot. We do get to see the creation of the war rig that the Citadel uses. There is a weapon that I forgot the name of that seems to be new. It is basically a mechanical flail on the back of the first war rig. Alright, that is all for the questions. So, ultimately within the confines of the movie the story works, and it works well. That said, it doesn't work within the parameters that needed to be met for Fury Road to work. I really want to talk about that because prequels have to lead into the material they are based on, especially if like this one they lead directly into it. So what are the problems? The main one is that Bullet Farm is destroyed, and from what we can see everyone there is killed. That would include the Bullet Farmer who dies in Fury Road. There is a chance that I missed the Bullet Farmer being at the Citadel. The main reason that this is an issue is that the convoy at the start of Fury Road they are supposed to go to Gastown and the Bullet Farm, but with how the timeline is set up this would be an impossibility. The acting is a bit hard to talk about. Chris Hemsworth does a great job of being the psychotic Dementus. He hams it up, which is obvious a choice in how he was being directed, and he is pretty fun to watch. Tom Burke as Jack doesn't really have a lot of lines, as most of his scenes are fighting. The real issue is Anya Taylor-Joy, who is a great actress, probably has fewer lines in the movie than almost any other character. Honestly, the only person I can think of with fewer lines is Alala Brown, who plays young Furiosa and has nearly no lines. It really seems like a waste to have Anya have so few lines. I am a fan of the pacing in this movie more so than Fury Road. I feel like more time was spent to build out the world and Furiosa doesn't immediately try to get either of her goals. They are things that are built up to. We get more time to see her make choices based on her current standing and the people around her. So on to my rating. On my scale, it got 7 out of 8 or 8.75 stars out of 10. I honestly like this one more than Fury Road. I did go back and rewatch Fury Road after seeing Furiosa because I wanted to make sure I knew how they connected because in cases like this that is very important. Well, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe. I typically have 2 videos out per week. Next week looks to be 2 AI reviews. Until next time,